नमस्ते प्रणाम गीता ध्यानम् ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna. Ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O goddess, the showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters. O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishnavandana. Vasudeva sutam devam kansachanuramardanam devaki paramanandam krishnam vande jagatguru. Son of Vasudeva, slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. So today we take up our next reading from the Sannyasa Yoga, the fifth adhyay of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Today we will be reading the 8th shlok. Now the thing is, the 8th shlok and 9th shlok, they are in continuation. So normally, usually it is a tradition that both 8th and 9th shlok, they are read together. Because Sri Krishna leaves the second line of the 8th shloka halfway through, connecting it with the first line of the 9th shloka. So we will also follow the same tradition, and today we will take up reading of the 8th and the 9th shloka of the Sannyasa Yoga. Now in the 7th shloka that we read earlier, Sri Krishna has taught Arjuna, and he had taught us that how a person with the controlled mind, controlled body, controlled senses, and established in that karma yoga, yoga yukto vishuddhatma, having purified his self, and vijitatma jitendriyaha, having brought his self, lower self, under his control, and jitendriya, having conquered the senses, sarva bhutatma bhutatma, having realized oneness with all the beings of the universe, kurvannapi na lipyate. He doesn't get tainted by anything that he does. He may be doing a whole lot of work, but there is no entanglement for him into that work that he is doing. He remains untainted, he remains unattached, he remains unscathed with the effect of the karma that he is doing. Now Sri Krishna further says about the signs of this freedom from the getting bound to the karma. Freedom from getting bound to the karma by such a person. Who is such a person? Naiva kiñchit karomīti yukto manyeta tattva-vit paśhyañ śhṛiṇvan spṛiśhañjighrann aśhnangachchhan svapañśhvasan. That is the 8th shloka. And again in continuation, it is not complete yet. Ralpon pralapan visṛijan gṛihṇann unmiṣhan nimiṣhann api. It is a bit complicated wording here Sri Krishna has used. Ralpon visṛijan gṛihṇann unmiṣhan nimiṣhann api indriyāṇīndriyārtheṣhu vartante iti dhārayan. Sri Krishna is listing out, he has listed out all the activities, all sorts of activities that a person who is established in karma yoga, yukta, Yuktaha is established in yoga. Naiva kiñchit karomi iti. Na eva kiñchit karomi iti yukto manyeta tattva-vit. Tattva-vit means knower the truth. The yogi, the yukta, one who is established in the karma yoga, having known the truth. Tattva-vit manyet, he understands. What? Na eva kiñchit karomi iti. He truly understands that not even little part of that action I am doing. Na eva kiñchit. Not even a fraction of the action that is being done, he knows I am not doing it. Na karomi iti. He knows for sure. Real knower and the one who is established in karma yoga. He knows it for sure that I am not even doing a little bit of this action. Na kiñchit karomi. Now, which are these actions? That Sri Krishna is enumerating one by one. All the functions of our body, Sri Krishna is mentioning in the last line of the 8th shlok and the first line of the 9th shlok. Let us see which are these. Paśhyañ, seeing. śhṛiṇvan, hearing. paśhyañ, śhṛiṇvan, spṛiśhañj, touch. Jighrann, smelling. Aśhnang, eating. Gacchhan, moving around. Going. Gacchhan is moving around. Svapañśhvasan, sleeping. śhṛiṇvan, breathing. All these activities. He knows he is not even doing a little bit of this. He is not doing all these activities at all. How is it possible that a living person who is seeing, who is hearing, who is smelling, who is touching, who is eating, sleeping, moving around, and still he says, I am not doing anything? The list of activities doesn't end there. Let us come to the 9th shloka now, the first line. Ralpon. Ralpon is speaking. Then visṛijan. Visṛijan is letting go, taking the things out of this body. The unwanted things taken out from this body. Even that is not being done. gṛihṇann. Gṛihṇann is seizing, holding. Gṛihṇann. unmiṣhan. Unmiṣhan is opening the eyes. nimiṣhann, closing the eyes. Among all the sense organs, it is only the eyes that actually we open and close. And to some, lips also we open and close. But otherwise, nose and ears, there is no opening and closing, but especially with the eyes, opening and closing. And nimiṣhann api, opening as well as closing of the eyes. Now, all these actions that body is doing, Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna and Sri Krishna is telling all of us, all these actions that the body is doing, knower of the truth, one who is yukta, one who is established in the karma yoga, he knows for sure that he is not doing anything at all of these activities which Sri Krishna has listed down in the second verse, part of 8th verse and the first part of the 9th verse. Indriyāṇīndriyārtheṣhu vartanta iti dhārayan. Now, indriyāṇi in the senses. It is all the association. Seeing, smelling, touching, eating, sleeping, speaking, moving around, then taking out. All these things, they are just the association of indriyāṇi, indriyārtheṣhu. That is association of senses with the sense objects. It is not me who is doing it. Indriyāṇīndriyārtheṣhu vartante iti dhārayan. It is just that the senses, they go and move to the sense objects. That is what is happening by all these actions. That is his firm belief. The yogi, the knower, is convinced. I'm seeing something, so I'm not seeing it. The eyes are falling on some object and there is an association. I see, fine, I'm not seeing something. Now we are listening to this Bhagavad Gita. Uh, words are entering our ears, fine. So it is the association of the sound waves with the ears. I am no way involved. And that's what Sri Krishna says. With each and every activity that we are doing, that person does, it is the inner self remains untouched. It is the inner self, the real I, that is dwelling inside this, temporal body, the body which is going to fall down one day. But I remains, and that I is not the doer. It is the body that is the doer. And Sri Krishna says that all the activities that are being done is nothing but the association of senses with the sense objects. That's it. The I is no way concerned with all those things that are happening around. Tomorrow, suppose I lose my eyesight, what happens? Eyes, they may, the object is there, eyes are there, but they have lost the power of seeing. So, is that action of seeing going to be complete? No. Then what happens? It's just when the senses and the sense objects, they come together, there is a union of the senses and the sense objects, then some action actually happens. Now, am I doing it? No. It is between this and that. I smell something. If I lose my sense of smell, like they say, during the COVID times, people are lose their sense of smell. Does it mean that I inside is not existing then? Very much exists. It is only sense of the nose portion and the object of smell. They are not getting properly united. That's it. That doesn't mean the I ceases to exist. So Sri Krishna is telling in these two verses, the sage, the knower, centered in the self, should think, I do nothing at all. No kiñchit karomīti. Though seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, going, sleeping, breathing, speaking, emptying, holding, opening and closing the eyes, firm in the thought that the senses move among the sense objects. I am not involved at all. All activities pertaining to bodily existence take place in the non-self. Now these are all the activities. They voluntarily happen. We are not forcing our body to breathe. We are not forcing our body to see. We are not forcing our body to hear. It automatically happens. Even eating may be okay. We are forcing to eat, but the process naturally happens. We feel hungry, we eat. We feel sleepy, we sleep. Now these are all the bodily functions. Now the real knower, the real karma yogi knows all these functions. They are not done by me. Self is actionless. Knower of the self is therefore free from the agency. There is no feeling of I am the doer. The person seated in an automobile does not himself move, right? We are driving the car, but are we moving? No, car is moving and that is making us move. That's as simple as that. We are traveling in a train. Are we moving actually? We are sitting on our seat. The train is moving us and we go from X station to Y station. We are walking. Then what happens? Yes, then the body is walking. So there, body is involved. But then again, is the I involved? No. The eye is happily sitting wherever it is dwelling in the body. The eye is not moving. It is the feet that are walking. Right? When we are saying what is happening, the eyes are saying, what about the eye that is inside? Happy, in a state of bliss, not bothered whether you are seeing or you are hearing or whether you are smelling or whether you are breathing, whether you are eating, sleeping, moving around. The eye remains unaffected. The person who blurts in sleep is not in reality the agent of that act. A man absorbed in some deep thought is not aware of the taste of the dish he partakes. When we are engrossed in some thought and we are eating anything, we don't even know whether that there is salt is more or salt is less in that dish. We are so much while watching the TV. If we start eating, we get so much engrossed in that the serial that is going on the TV. We don't even know whether in that sweet preparation sugar is more or less. In that savory preparation, whether salt is and chili is more or less, we don't even notice because we are somewhere else. So finally it comes. It is not the I dweller which is doing anything of these activities. In all these cases, the activities are not actually of the persons concerned. Similar to these, the jnani established in Atman is not the doer of the activities going on in the body. The senses, the mind, the intellect, and the life energy called prana, all these activities are going on. But the indweller is not the doer of the activities at all. Now, uh, Sri Ramakrishna's teaching, going with this teaching of Sri Krishna in the 8th and 9th shloka of the Sannyasa Yoga. Sri Ramakrishna says, he who comes to know that he is only an instrument in the hands of the Lord has no egotistic feeling. He is aware that he is only a tool that with which the God has his work to be done. He is only an instrument that is acting through the God's work. That's it. God wants this work to be done through this body, so he is using that body to do that work. He is aware that he is only a tool with which God is getting his work done. Such a man causes uh, no harm to society. Such a man causes harm to nobody because he is part of all. The poison of egoism is no more in him. The steel knife becomes gold knife with the touch of philosopher's stone. Though the form of knife is there, the iron sword or iron knife, if you stab somebody with that, that's it. What happens if that iron knife or iron sword is touched by the philosopher's stone, arasamani? What happens? It gets converted into gold and it loses its power of you know, entering anything. It can't poke anything. It will just be blunt. It may retain the shape. Fine. But to kill somebody, to harm somebody, that golden sword is of no use. And that is what happens when a person gets the ultimate knowledge. All the senses, they just get blunt. They may be touching the sense objects, but there is no harm created by the senses touching the sense objects because the entire orientation of understanding the sense objects gets changed. It gets changed from the plane of this worldly understanding to it is divine touch them. My eyes start seeing divinity all around. Whatever words, whatever sound waves enter my ears, they all seem to be divine. Everything, the association is only between the self and the divine. Even with these senses, coming in contact with the sense objects. Though the form of knife is there, it is not useful anymore for cutting. Similarly, the jnani retains a seeming individuality, but no ignorance-born activity occurs in and through him. This is what happens. Once one gets established in the Karma Yoga, once one gets ultimate knowledge, no activity is going to harm him, no activity is going to bring that person in the bondage of the karma. He is beyond any kind of bondage because he knows for sure that no kiñchit karomi. I am not doing anything. I am not the doer. I am just an instrument. I am just an instrument in the hands of the Lord. Like the puppets. We feel the puppets are dancing, but he's making them dance. The puppeteer. And we are all the puppets in the hands of that puppeteer. So never have that sense of egotism. I am the doer. And that's what Sri Krishna is telling. That in spite of doing all these activities, and knower truly knows that he is not the doer of any of these activities. So that is, and that's what ultimately, while doing the activity, he is doing activities, but still he has renounced himself from doing any of these activities. And that's why Sri Krishna has told, first do karma, perform the actions, and then ultimately you will reach that same point that the knower is reaching, that the jnani is reaching, the karma yogi is also reaching the same point, and resulting in the karma sannyas. And then you will realize, oh my God, all these days I was confused whether to renounce the work or do the work, but Sri Krishna has said, do the work, perform the actions. You will also reach the stage of karma sannyasa. So that is the reading of the 8th and the 9th shlok of the Sannyasa Yoga of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. That is our reading for this day. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ram Krishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swamiji.